With this release, we are excited to announce Onshape's first set of tools for model-based definition. MBD features embed dimensions, tolerances, and other product manufacturing information, or PMI, directly into your 3D model. Unlike bolt-on MBD add-ins, Onshape's native MBD capabilities are built right into your design workflow. Coupled with Onshape's industry-leading collaboration and sharing capabilities, PMI can be easily communicated and understood by all stakeholders without the use of out-of-sync files or installing viewing softwares. Onshape MBD features are available to all users in all plans. Let's take a quick look at how they work. While creating the sketches defining this part, we'll need to apply some dimensions. Directly in the dimension feature, you now have the ability to enable a tolerance. Tolerances can be defaulted based on following a standard. You can also specifically define a tolerance based on your needs, using a variety of common tolerance types. You will find these same tolerance options are also available in a variety of different feature dialogues. In this case, it can be enabled for both the extrude features, the fillet, and both of the dimensions in the chamfer. Within the hole feature, you can select tolerances for each different aspect of this counterbore hole. And the same is true as well with the countersinks. The inspection table is now available in our Part Studio environment. Expanding it, you will see any dimensions listed for which tolerances have been enabled, and their annotations appear in the graphics area overlaid on the model. Using the alignment tools, you can quickly organize the annotations on screen to present them more clearly. The explicitly created tolerance we had added in the first sketch shows correctly in the table exactly as it was defined. But the majority of the other dimensions are looking for a default tolerance, which we haven't yet applied. To do this, you can quickly select an overall tolerancing library to use. Onshape provides several out of the box, but of course, you can create your own. These libraries can be highly configured to meet your needs and shared at a company level, meaning all of your default tolerance for each different feature type are captured accurately in your first go. Additional dimensions and tolerances can also be captured and applied directly from the inspection panel. You can also add other necessary features, in this case, defining a datum feature, and then adding a simple geometric tolerance. Tolerances are intelligent and always linked back to the selected standard. Any feature-driven dimensions can be directly edited from the graphics area with a double click. By changing this dimension to a value below one of the thresholds defined in the standard, notice that the tolerance applied to it has automatically updated in value as well. You can quickly hide all default tolerances in the inspection table to review only the specified overridden tolerances. Dimensions created in Onshape custom features not only can be marked as toleranced, but can actually be fully predefined. In this example, we've accurately captured several dimensions in the inspection table without even requiring any tolerance selection input from the designer at the time that they used the custom feature. Finally, all PMI can be easily shared downstream. Users that have been given view-only access to a document will now find a new option to enable the inspection table, thereby showing the on-screen annotations as well. Parts can also be added to a publication, and similarly, viewers of this publication will find the same option available there. Model-based definition in Onshape is an intelligent and effective way to capture and communicate 3D PMI. But most importantly, it is a natural part of your design workflow.
When creating sweeps in Onshape, you now have more control over how the profile follows the path with two exciting new settings. The first is the ability to add twist to the profile along the sweep path. When enabled, you are presented with three methods to choose from: turns, angle, and pitch. Each of these allows you to define the direction and amount of twist to add. Additionally, you can now change the scale of the profile along the path, which can either increase or decrease the size of the profile based on the value provided. These new settings will unlock new design possibilities when creating sweeps in Onshape that previously may have required complex surfacing or lofts to accommodate. With this latest update to Onshape, you can now define offset planes by selecting circular or elliptical curves. These curves can be sketch circles or ellipses, and the entities do not need to be closed profiles either to be used. You can also choose circular or elliptical edges from your 3D models as well. Like before, these could be partial curves. Finally, you can also choose circular or elliptical segments of complex curves like the routing curve. These new curve options eliminate redundant modeling steps or the need to create unnecessary features. New when you choose Edit in Context on a part within an assembly that has a defined section view, that section display, orientation, and visibility will be carried over to the Part Studio. This enhancement is part of Onshape's continued improvement efforts for Edit in Context. This new workflow will streamline the process of creating features defined in context. Additionally, when you choose Go to Assembly from the In Context edit, the view and orientation from the Part Studio will likewise be honored in the assembly upon return. Onshape's powerful configurations are now even easier to define with the introduction of filters within the configuration panel. You can filter by configuration input types, including configured lists, checkboxes, and of course, variable inputs. Likewise, you can simply search by using the text input at the top of the configuration panel to search for a specific input by name. For example, the compartment quantities available for this travel case. You can also use the text box to filter using conditions like feature name, for example, cover. You can then further refine this search using the previously mentioned input type filters, in this case checkboxes. This makes it easy to find the configuration setting to modify. Likewise, you can use these filters to focus on inputs that have visibility conditions. Specifying false will show only those inputs that do not have a visibility condition defined, simplifying the process of finding and setting these controls. The addition of these filters to the configuration panel not only makes creating your configurations faster, it ensures that managing and making changes to your configured products down the line is much easier and more manageable as well. When specifying fit tolerances for shaft dimensions, you no longer need to first specify the fit of the associated hole tolerance. This applies to each fit type as well as each display method, saving you these extra steps every time you want to specify a shaft tolerance on a drawing.
Now, custom applications can be transferred very easily in the situation where one developer creates an application and wants to transfer it to another individual, company, or enterprise. New in Onshape is a redefined experience for camera settings. Instead of having to navigate to multiple settings all around Onshape Render Studio and various pull-down menus and toolbars, the camera panel allows for centralized access to camera information. For example, setting the depth of field requires you to move and reposition things, focal length, etc., and then you have to go back to the depth of field to reposition your focus point often. Now, with the camera panel, you can just simply modify your camera settings, change your focus point, and any other camera setting in one place. Emissive volumes are now enabled in Render Studio Advanced. Simply choose the emissive checkbox. Make sure you have a volume data file. I have one here for fire. And I'm going to set the color of the fire that I wish to have. Use this multiplier to increase the visibility of that fire. And now we have real fire lighting our scene.
Onshape Cam Studio's selection arrows have been updated for contouring operations. Previously, a single arrow was used to identify the cut direction. With this update, users have the cutting direction arrow and now a cutting side arrow, which updates automatically for climb or conventional milling. Additionally, if the tool hand is changed right to left or left to right, the direction arrows will update to reflect these changes while maintaining the correct cutting side. The result? Clearer visuals and more confidence in your CAM programming. AI for Onshape has come a long way, but we're not even close to being finished. First, we delivered AI Advisor in the Learning Center. Then, we added AI Advisor directly in the product to put it right at your fingertips, ready to assist with whatever questions you might have. Now, we're adding AI Advisor to help, to assist in finding answers fast. This is directly integrated, no extra steps or queries needed, and will enable you to find answers fast, but it'll still allow you to browse the documentation to dig deeper into the subject at hand. This exciting change is just one of many coming down the pike. Stay tuned.